Ho, 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 my goodness. What was that from the Houston Texans? Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans as they lose to the Browns 36-22, and it wasn't even really that close as the Texans just get beat down by the Browns in H-Town, and that was not a fun one. Get to the four big takeaways brought to you by our friends at J Bar M, 2201 Leland in Edo. Check them out this week after Christmas and visit for some fantastic barbecue. They're going to have whole hog for you on New Year's Eve as well. You don't want to miss out at J Bar M. They sponsor the four big takeaways after each and every Texans game. Merry Christmas to you if you celebrate. Happy holidays to you if Christmas is not your holiday of choice. I hope you're having a fantastic one. Thanks for giving me a few moments of time to talk about this disaster. Oh, my goodness. We knew it was going to be tough. Browns bringing in one of the best defenses in football. Joe Flacco and company a little warm heading into this one. Well, Joe Flacco was red hot, one of the best games of his career against the Texans. That's where we start on the big takeaways. A no-show by the defense yet again. Now, this wasn't quite Desmond Ridder getting going and having a game, and the game was close the whole time. It wasn't quite Bryce Young, where Bryce Young did just enough to put some points on the board, and then the offense didn't take care of business. No, this was a lot closer to the second half against the Jets, where basically anything the Browns did worked. And it went from the word go. That's exactly what the Browns were going to try to do, was get the ball deep to Amari Cooper. And what does the Texans defense allow on the very first play? Boom, deep shot to Amari Cooper, and the Browns put some points on the board right away. And I thought to myself, okay, Texans allowed some points in the opening drive last week to the Titans. A couple of weeks ago, the Browns scored in the opening drive and then had 5 straight 3-and-outs. Maybe the Texans will bounce back. And they try to bounce back a little bit. They force a couple of punts, and then Flacco got going again. He was dicing up the Texans secondary, which played so poorly today. With Jimmy Ward, without Jimmy Ward, he's hurt again. With a pass rush, without a pass rush, Jonathan Grenard's hurt. It was easy for Joe Flacco. There was no pressure on him whatsoever. And even when there was pressure, he was able to get the ball out to somebody that was wide open. And when he wasn't wide open, whoever Flacco was throwing the ball to, he just threw it to Amari Cooper because Amari Cooper caught everything. Amari Cooper caught everything. It was shades of T.Y. Hilton and his dominance from back in the day from Amari Cooper. Heck, T.Y. Hilton thinks Amari Cooper might have had a big day against this Texans team. And it's yet again another no-show from the defense. And they've had too many of these sections of games, and this one was just a whole damn game, basically, of a no-show. Joe Flacco, I understand that he's been a little warm, maybe even bordering on hot the past couple of weeks, and he's averaging over 300 yards a game, and he's got multiple 300-yard games in a row here. Joe Flacco should not come in and do that to you. Joe Flacco should not come in there and do that to your secondary when 3 out of the 4 guys in the secondary, 4 out of the 5 starters are healthy for most of the game. You know, I know Steven Nelson comes out, but he comes back in. Amari Cooper worked him. Amari Cooper worked Derek Stingley. It was a bad day overall from the defense. Started with the line, getting no pressure. The linebackers couldn't cover, but they didn't really need to worry about the linebackers because, hell, they were hitting things down the sideline. They were hitting things down the side. And I understand that DeMeco Ryans doesn't travel as cornerbacks. And I understand that he doesn't love to double up guys. Amari Cooper was dominating them. They needed to do something else to stop him. They didn't adjust. DeMeco Ryans said after the game, I got to coach better. We got to execute better. You're not going to face a Joe Flacco-esque player and offense, I guess you would say, for the rest of this regular season. So there's hope there. And you don't have typically back-to-back stinkers to this level with the Texans. So there's a little bit of hope there, but an absolute no-show from the defense, which sort of, as we'll go through the rest of the big takeaways, this is the biggest one because they were not beating the Browns the way that defense played, which takes me into big takeaway number 2. They're not winning football games without C.J. Stroud going forward. Like, they're not going to win football games going forward without C.J. Stroud. So hopefully he's healthy and playing against the Tennessee Titans and playing against the Indianapolis Colts. So hopefully C.J. Stroud is back under center, because if they're going to run Case Keenum out there for any portion of the game, they're going to lose going forward. He was able to cobble it together against the Titans. That's a really, really bad team, and I get that they're the next team on the schedule, but they'll be a little bit more ready and prepared for Keenum. And then even with Davis Mills, which I felt like the Texans definitely should have gone to Mills earlier in the game, okay? They should have made the switch to Davis Mills earlier in the game. That's the first point I want to make. The next point I want to make is it would not have mattered in the ultimate outcome of the game because the defense played so poorly. But Mills has more mobility to deal with pressure because this offensive line can't block anybody. He's got more juice in his arm to get the ball down the field. And yeah, he makes some questionable decisions, but sometimes he just throws the damn thing too hard. The defense can't catch it. Keenum it looked like he was crow hopping like he was an outfielder in Major League Baseball to get the ball 5-6 yards at times. Everything was short. Everything was quick passes. And I understand you want to try to mitigate some of the pass rush, but you can do that without throwing the ball 1 yard or 2 yards down the field. Guys weren't getting open. I understand that aspect of it, but it was a putrid offensive performance by this team. And I know they put points on the board there at the end when the Browns playing prevent defense. It would not have mattered to the outcome if Davis Mills had played earlier. But you watched it. I watched it. Case Keenum was cooked by midway through the second quarter. You could tell he was not putting points on the board. And when it was just a 2-score game in the second quarter and around halftime, coming out of halftime, all that, the Texans needed to make the change to Davis Mills, give themselves a better opportunity to perform better. And maybe if the Browns make some mistakes, you get back into the game. The Texans didn't. That was a mistake. Big takeaway number 3. This defensive line without Jonathan Grenard and Will Anderson is shot. Derek Barnett and Jerry Hughes and Majai Sanders, they can't get any pressure. And with the ends not doing their job, the tackles can't get any pressure. And even when they got pressure on Flacco, he was able to either avoid it, extend the play, or just get rid of the ball because he has a big arm. And that throw to Amari Cooper on the sidelines was an incredible play by Flacco because he's kind of tightened up by the defense. They haven't finished him. And then he slings that thing out to Cooper over on the sideline. DeAndre Houston Carson goes to try to bat the ball away instead of destroying Amari Cooper. And that's a first down on a fourth down. And then the Browns go on to score. That was pretty much all she wrote from that moment on for the Texans. But this defensive line's in some trouble. Grenard tried to walk it off 5-6 times. And I think he got retaped. It looked like an ankle injury. The official report will be out later this week. But there's no guarantee that Will Anderson's coming back. And Grenard certainly could miss this upcoming game. So if you're looking at that aspect of this, you may be to the backups on the ends. And if the defensive tackles aren't going to get a push, if D'Amico Ryan's going to send some blitzes, they may be in some big-time trouble when it comes to getting any sort of pressure on the Titans and maybe slowing down whatever the Titans bring to the table from a rushing attack standpoint next week. Now, why is next week's game so important? It brings me to big takeaway number 4. The playoffs are still right there in front of you, okay? Don't do your Jim Mora impression while you're watching this video. Playoffs? Playoffs? Don't you do that, okay? The playoffs are still in front of the Texans, okay? We'll go through it later in the week explaining all of the tiebreaker scenarios and what it is. Here's what you need to know. If the Texans win out, they will own the tiebreaker over the Indianapolis Colts, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos, and they potentially could own the tiebreaker over the Buffalo Bills if the Bills lose one of their next 2 games. So owning the tiebreaker over those teams would put them into the playoffs, is either the 6th or the 7th seed. At this point, the AFC North, either the Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore Ravens, have locked up the 5 seed, in my opinion. Yes, I'm sure there still exists some permutations where it ends up there, but more than likely, the AFC North has the 5 seed, and it's more than likely going to be the Cleveland Browns in that 5 seed spot. So you've got the Texans, you've got the Colts, you've got the Bengals, you've got the Bills, you've got the Broncos, and you've got the Steelers. still kind of fighting around for those two spots. Well, the Texans own a lot of the tiebreakers over those teams, or can get the tiebreaker over those teams in the situation with the Colts on not next Sunday, but the following Sunday, the first Sunday of 2024. So, playoffs still very real. But remember what I said earlier about CJ Stroud? If Stroud can't play in one of these two games, I don't believe they're going to win both of these games. That just doesn't feel like something the Texans are capable of doing right now. Now, Stroud would not have solved everything against the Browns in the game on Sunday. He wouldn't have solved it all, but he would have raised the floor and hopefully knocked down some of the success that the Browns did have against the Texans. And maybe he could have given the defense a little bit of a breather. Maybe the defense plays a little bit better, maybe a little bit more inspired because they know they don't have to play perfect to keep the other team off the scoreboard, to have a chance to win. But ultimately, CJ Stroud has to play in these final two games that the Texans have designs on the playoffs. Now, as far as the concussion situation goes, it's trending in the right direction. D'Amico Ryans revealed to the NFL Network that CJ was in the building on Friday, was able to go through some team meetings, was able to watch practice. That bodes well for Stroud being able to clear concussion protocol this week. Now, we saw something scary pop up from a clearing concussion protocol standpoint in the NFL this weekend. Michael Pittman, the wide receiver for the Colts, cleared concussion protocol and then had symptoms reappear and went back in concussion protocol. Okay? That's one of the best players on the Colts, probably their best offensive weapon, and he missed the game because he cleared but then went back in. CJ Stroud's got to clear and stay healthy from that standpoint for the rest of the year if the Texans have designs on the playoffs. If you have designs on fantastic barbecue, well, the presenter of the 4 Big Takeaways is our friends at J Bar M. Look at this incredible barbecue spread. They do these big boards where you can get a little bit of everything. You can go in there, get a 1 meat and sides, 2 meat and sides. They got sandwiches. They got the baked potatoes. They've got all sorts of incredible stuff, like $2 wells on Fridays and Saturdays. They got the Tex-Mex menu Tuesday through Friday all day. Those brisket tacos, so dang good. Wednesdays, the smoked brisket burger. It is legitimately one of the best burgers in all of Houston. And on New Year's Eve, Sunday, 12/31, 11 to 4, so you could go watch the Texans game at J Bar M and get you some whole hog barbecue. They got the collard greens. They got you a sausage link, black-eyed peas, a beer included. The beer garden is fantastic. It is a great place to hang out and watch a game. It's fantastic for bowl season as well, with all the bowl games popping up, your NFL Sundays or Thursdays or Saturdays or whenever the games pop up when the playoffs get here. That'll be a fun one as well. Go visit J Bar M. They take care of you. Down for Christmas, but shortly after Christmas, they'll be back at it. And if you're looking at this Instagram post from December 7th, it's one of their pinned posts. You'll notice a lot of people have put Houston football as a comment. If you go comment Houston football on this Instagram post at J Bar M and follow J Bar M on Instagram, you are entered in for a raffle to win a J Bar M gift card. That raffle is going to close Tuesday night. So get in there, get the Houston football, the like, and the follow for J Bar M, and you're going to get a chance to win a gift card to go to J Bar M. Hopefully the Texans will get a chance to see CJ Stroud play, get a chance to beat the Titans, beat the Colts, and play a playoff game. Can't get to the Colts game until you get through the Titans game. And can't get to the Titans game until you get through figuring out what the heck just happened to this team against the Browns. We went through the 4 big takeaways. What are your big takeaways that I didn't get to? Get to the comment section down below. Let me know. We love talking on the comment section as well. And don't forget to throw a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We certainly appreciate you watching. And once again, I hope you are having a fantastic holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays to you. I hope you are having a great time with friends, family, loved ones, enjoying your time. If you have to work, thank you for working during the holiday season so that you can take care so that as you take care of other people. Easy for me to say. And if you're looking for a last-minute gift, www.houfootball.com for your Texans fans in your life. HOU football, Houston football, where I do all my writing about the Texans, makes a great last-minute gift, and you just send it to their email. You don't even have to worry about printing nothing out or giving them a gift card or putting it in the card. You just tell them, hey, check your email. Your newest gift is in there. You can check that out. The link's in the description down below as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for all the support this year, and thanks for watching the video. Once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, and I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.